Maybe so in Chocola's case, but aren't you bad with physical activity? Come on. I've got you now, Chocola.
ご主人様のエッチどこ触ってるんですか？ご主人、ショコラの胸もろ触ってる。もうわしづかみ。
I am not. It's because you two are running around.
好きありです。
Hey, stop it. You're still going to run? Gah. I've got you, Vanilla.
こちょこちょこちょこちょこちょ。
What? Chocola, stop. Really, stop. Guad, Choco-waha.
ナイスアシストショコラ。ささ。
Like I said, stop running! The two of them didn't listen to a word I said as they continued to mess with me. And that was how the first night went. For now, I'll let you stay, but only for tonight. I don't have guest beds or futons, okay? While all that was happening, 11 o'clock became midnight. Even if I took them home, everyone was sure to be asleep by now. The one glimmer of hope I had that Shigure will call me back didn't happen. So I decided that taking them home tomorrow was my first priority.
もちろんご主人様のベッドで寝ます。私もご主人のベッドで我慢する。
Cleverly, they had even brought pajamas. Just how much planning went into their schemes anyway? Really, if you two sleep there, where will I?
一緒に寝てくれないんですか？この子に及んで。ご主人は人の男子なのに往生際が悪い。順番はご主人、ショコラ、私でいい。にゃー。ご主人様とバニラに囲まれて幸せにゃー。
Don't get ahead of yourselves, you two. A single bed for 3 people is too crowded.
じゃあ押しかけたのはショコラたちですし、ここでいいですよ。猫らしく丸まって寝ますし。贅沢は言わない私たち、超けなげ。猫の鏡。
I watched the two of them lie down and curl up on the floor of an empty room without even curtains. That's way too pitiful of a sight to be called praiseworthy.
お引っ越ししたばかりで段ボールたくさんありますよね。お家作ったらあったかいって聞いたし、なんとかなる気がする。
That's something only strange people would say. Where did these catgirls get this information from anyways? Well, they've probably read a lot of books and watched TV in Shigure's room. Chocola isn't good with kanji characters, so she only reads picture books though. Whatever. You two go sleep in my bed. It still gets pretty cold at night in April after all.
そしたらご主人様はどうするんですか？ショコラの隣？
I'm going to sleep on the sofa in the living room. The sofa can fit 1 person and there's air conditioning in there if I need it.
ダメですよ。それならショコラがソファーで寝ますから。ご主人様はバニラと一緒にお布団で寝てください。私こそソファーのが落ち着く。ショコラとご主人でベッド使えばいい。
They moved quickly towards me like lions catching their prey. I placed my hands on their heads and spoke in a clear and stern voice. Listen up, I will sleep on the sofa, and you two will sleep in my bed. Those are your master's orders. Understood?
ご主人様。ご主人。
I said it like that deliberately. The two of them looked as if they wanted to say something, but they hesitated. They lowered their heads apologetically.
ごめんなさい。ご主人様。ごめんなさい。ご主人。
They mustered out, They looked like they were on the verge of tears. Their obedience had the exact opposite of the effect I expected. It filled me with guilt. I felt a prickling sensation in my chest. That pain left me as I sighed and rubbed the two of them on the head. Come on, get going.
Hi.
Good night. If anything happens, call for me right away.
はい。おやすみなさい、ご主人様。おやすみ、ご主人。
I gently rubbed the heads of the two dispirited catgirls once more. See you in the morning. With that said, I turned the lights off in the room.
ご主人様。本当にごめんなさい。迷惑をかけてしまって。
Her vanishing voice echoed slightly in the darkened room. The pain in my heart from before became even sharper. I swallowed that pain and replied cheerfully, It's okay. If it's just for one night, don't worry about it.
ご主人様。
Now then, go to sleep. I really shouldn't act on my emotions, huh? I lay down on the sofa. I sighed while staring at the ceiling. If I gave in to my emotions, the result would just lead to more sadness. If I used kind or hopeful words, they would all end up as lies. It's pretty uncool of me to be so passive like this. While I continued to pile on insults and make excuses for my actions, I closed my eyes and waited for sleep to take over.
Nekopara. その件に関しては、ショコラとバニラの意思を尊重したいと思います。ショコラとバニラがちゃんと納得したら迎えに行きますので。
Was what she told me when I was finally able to get in touch with her. Without any margin of negotiation space, I was struck down. But Shigure, even if you say that, I don't think chocolate and vanilla will.
ところで兄様、この妹目に今朝の愛のささやきを。
Don't make it sound like it's a daily ritual or something. In any case...
あ、すみません。お父様から呼ばれましたので、失礼いたします。愛してますわ、兄様。ではまた。
Ah, wait, Shigure? Seriously? As the ruthless electronic buzz of the dropped call echoed, I stared at my cell phone. And here I thought that I could sort all this out if I could just talk to Shigure.
朝ごはんおいしいですね。ご主人様のご飯はいつでもおいしいですにゃ。ショコラ、ほっぺにケチャップついてる。芸術的に可愛い。舐めてあげちゃう。ペロペロ。
The catgirls in question were happily stuffing themselves with sandwiches. These sandwiches incidentally contained tomato, cheese, and lettuce, with an over-easy fried egg tucked inside all of that. It was a simple meal. Breakfast was pretty much like this. You two are definitely going home today, okay?
ご主人様はショコラたちといるの楽しくないですか？ショコラは楽しいですよ。もうそれは今世紀最大級に。昨晩はご主人だって結構お楽しみだったくせに。
Stop with the deliberately misleading words. I sighed at her happy-go-lucky mindset. I took the opportunity to fill their empty glasses with milk. The eating habits of catgirls were pretty much the same as those of humans, so that part was straightforward. Of course, what they liked and disliked depended on each individual catgirl. In the end, I wasn't able to get everything put away yesterday. Today, I really do have to start getting ready for the bakery's opening too. That's why I don't have time to relax and play with you two. Be good girls and go home. I said that to them with a sandwich in my hand.
ここにショコラがいたら、ご主人様は迷惑ですか?
She poured her sandwich down on her plate. And just like yesterday, she looked at me with upturned eyes. Yeah, it's a problem. I answered her clearly.
そうですか。そうですよね。やっぱり。
Her shoulders drooped more than before. The ears, which sat atop her head, drooped downheartedly too.
ショコラ。
Unable to make fun of anything, Vanilla could only look on with concern. The pain from last night prickled at my heart again. I tilted the already cooled coffee cup. As my emotions dulled, unimpeded by my judgment.
それでも、ショコラはご主人様のところにいたいです。
Her usually always perky ears were drooping. Chocola was speaking clearly under her own volition.
ショコラがいるなら、私もここにいる。私もここにいたいと思う。
Vanilla's usually blank expression did not change. However, she showed me her strong determination. I don't remember Chocolate or Vanilla ever being this disobedient. That thought stayed at the back of my mind. But if I was going to be swayed by that, then I wouldn't have said this. That. Understood? Hmm?
ご注文ありがとうございます。ロイヤルウッドです。ご注文いただきましたティーセットの配達にお伺いしました。ではこちらお店の中に運んじゃいますね。こちらの段ボールで全部ですね。では間違いなければ受領書にサインをいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
He smiled brightly and brought out the invoice along with a pen. Okay, let's see. I looked over the sales invoice I received once more. Somehow, this doesn't look like what I ordered.
え、本当ですか？それは品物が違うということでしょうか？
No, the stuff I ordered is in here too, but... I looked over at the pile of boxes inside the bakery. Inside of my tiny bakery was a mountain of boxes. A mountain! It was as if the inside of the bakery had become completely made of boxes. As you can see, we don't need this much tableware inside the bakery.
すみません。すぐに本社に確認しますので、少々お待ちいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。大変申し訳ございません。こちらのミスで別の注文書と混じってしまっていたようでして、水無月様の方もすぐにご入りようと思いますので、もしよろしければご注文分の食器を受け取っていただければと思うのですが。
Accept this order? Huh? From all this? The mountain of cardboard boxes towered over everything. I was at a loss for words. Every box was of equal size. I wouldn't know what was inside each of them without opening them up. On top of that, looking at the sales invoice, I could see that they all contained expensive tea sets and tableware. And if I accepted it all, it would be a lot of work to deal with all the new items. There's still things that need doing in advance of my bakery's opening, so I don't mind accepting these. But it's going to take a while to deal with all of this.
もちろん私もお手伝いさせていただきますので、私も次の配達に行かないといけないですし。
Look, you don't need to put all this pressure on me. From looks of it, it would take 2 hours or more. But to have it redelivered would take double that effort too. Hmm? That's right, I have a lifeline.
にゃにゃですか？猫ちゃんたち本当に助かりました。ありがとうございます。本当にありがとうございます。では私はこれで失礼させていただきますね。
Huh, I'm exhausted. I glanced at the table where we had finished organizing, lowered myself into a chair and relaxed my shoulders.
ご主人様、冷たいお茶です。どうぞ。
Thanks, Chocolate, don't mind if I do. I downed the cold tea in one gulp. Somehow or another, the light meal tableware had arrived. Soon, I really had to get the bakery ready for its opening. I did say I needed any help I could find, and I really did need help this time. Hmm?
褒めて褒めて褒めて褒めて。
I could sense the praise me aura coming from Chocolate. She had a wide smile on her face and was in a ready stance to receive my approval. Thanks, I couldn't have done it without you two.
ご主人様に褒めてもらっちゃったよ、バニラ。柱の陰から見守ってた甲斐があったね。よしよし。ショコラ、ご主人様の役に立てましたね。やっぱりご主人様一人じゃお仕事大変だと思うんです。猫の手でも存分に役に立つ。私たちがいなかったらまだ仕分け続行中だと思う。
Hey, you two are getting a bit too close. They leaned forward towards me for emphasis. Is it true that without you two around, this would have been a real problem? But that's a different issue than the one from before. You two have to go back home. Besides, it's not like I could ask you two to work for me or anything, okay?
そうですか。やっぱりダメですか。
Her shoulders drooped along with her ears and tail. The enthusiasm she showed earlier had completely disappeared. She sighed deeply and looked disheartened.
お掃除でもしてきます。せっかくですし。
She trudged up to the second floor, still dejected. Chocolate isn't an idiot. I knew she was pushing herself to be bright and full of energy, but even so, this wasn't something I was going to easily change my mind about. It was all the more with how much she cared for me.
ご主人、私たちがいたらそんなに迷惑？
She spoke quietly, in her usual way. Vanilla tilted her head as she asked that question. You two aren't bad cat girls, and that's why I can't have you stay here.
悪い子じゃないのにダメなの？
It's because you two are good cat girls, and I can't allow it. She blinked as she took in my words. It was almost as if she was trying to peer inside my heart. She stared directly at me, long and hard.
人って難しい。猫にはそういうのはわからない。好きならそばにいたい。少なくとも私はそう思うけど。
Vanilla.
ショコラのところ行ってくる。
With those words, she went upstairs. The sound of her small footsteps slowly disappeared, and before long I couldn't hear them anymore. Humans are hard to understand, huh? Inside the bakery, now devoid of anyone but myself. I repeated those words she had just said to me. Now that I think about it, that's a pretty inconsistent way of thinking, isn't it? Cats do not understand that. Having heard that said aloud, I began to understand what it really meant. It must be pretty nice to live the simple life of a cat girl, huh? I pounded as I looked at the name of the bakery affixed to the window. With a bitter smile, I began to clean up the tea sets that had arrived earlier.
NEKOPARA! あれ、今日はあのたこ焼き屋がいない。
Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. However, the food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day I decided to take the two cat girls home. I had also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shigure got home.
ごめんバニラ。なんだっけ、また旅だっけ。だいたいそんな感じ。
That isn't the right word at all. Chokla, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit?
はい、少しだけ。でも大丈夫ですから。心配かけてごめんなさい、ご主人様。
There's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit?
じゃあ私、何か飲み物買ってくる。
Ah, thanks. Something for everyone, okay?
了解。任された。
I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocola. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. All that could be heard throughout the empty park were the quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocola. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly.
ショコラ、帰ります。
Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocola's head.
たまにはご主人様に電話してもいいですか？
Yeah.
またご主人様のところに遊びに来てもいいですか？
Yeah.
ご主人様はショコラたちのことちゃんと毎日思い出してくれますか？ショコラは離れててもご主人様って呼んでてもいいですか？
Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. She stifled her sobbing, and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course, I will. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could.
やっぱりご主人様は優しいですね。
I don't really think I'm kind at all.
ご主人様、前も同じこと言ってましたから。
Before? Chocola closed her eyes and smiled.
覚えてますか？ショコラとバニラを ご主人様としぐれちゃんが連れて帰ってくれた時のこと。
Ah, of course, I remember that. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocolate and Vanilla were huddled together crying by the side of the road. They were still so young they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies and took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home.
あの時は知らないお家で知らない人と猫ばっかりで怖くて。
You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shigure.
はい、とっても心配かけちゃいました。
I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past.
ショコラとバニラが熱を出した時のことも覚えてますか？
Ah, I definitely do remember that. It was a few days after we brought Chocolate and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain.
あの時は夜中で誰にも気づいてもらえなくて、とにかく苦しくて辛くて寂しくて、声も出せなくて、手も足も全然動かなくて、助けて、誰か助けてって思いながらただただ泣いてたんです。そしたら
It's alright. I'm with you too, so don't worry.
ご主人様が大きくてあったかい手で撫でてくれたんですよね。ずっとそばで大丈夫大丈夫って言い続けてくれて、ショコラとバニラのこと撫で続けてくれてました。朝になって病院に行くまでずっとそばにいてくれて、不安で心細かったのが全部嘘だったみたいに。あの時も同じこと言ってました。俺は別に優しくなんかないって。でもショコラたちはご主人様が助けてくれなかったらここにいなかったです。あの時ご主人様がそばにいてくれなかったら誰も信じられないままでした。ご主人様のおかげでご飯も食べれるようになりました。しぐれちゃんともみんなとも仲良くなれました。だからあの時からショコラのご主人様はご主人様になったんです。ショコラはそれからずっと優しいご主人様のことが大好きなんですよ。
I wished that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could before me.
だからショコラはご主人様がいなくなっちゃうって聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくて、どうしても一緒に行きたくて、しぐれちゃんにお願いをしたんです。
She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm. But there was also an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocola. I was the one she was saying all this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name.
お金のこととか難しいことはやっぱり猫にはわからないです。でもやっぱりショコラはご主人様のそばにいたいんです。ご主人様が辛くて大変そうなのなんとなくわかります。本当になんとなくですけど、お掃除でもお洗濯でもお料理でも ショコラがお手伝いできることは何でもしますから。今すぐにはできなくても絶対にちゃんとできるようになりますから。だからもう一度だけお願いしちゃダメでしょうか。ショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。
Chocolate voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocolate, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my inner thoughts, which were ready to overflow. She yearned for me so earnestly. This wraps up the second episode, because I'm recording this for like an hour. So like, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.